What's up guys, welcome back to yet another video on my channel. This time the promised hybrid paladin guide. It took a minute because I myself had to get tier 4 blessed hybrid paladin. I'm gonna get it out of the way. It's the best race in game. I'm going to be talking about potential that this race has at the end of the video, but just look at these stats, dude. Like, this is insane. And I'll pair this with blessed sun or anything like that. The bulk is crazy, the damage is crazy. But yeah, I still got a few exams around, but I hope I can get this video out in time for you guys, so you guys know everything about the hybrid paladin progression, etc. If you guys are looking for a guild in the EU/NA region, or just look for a community to ask questions in, talk to people, etc., then join my Discord. It's in the description down below. We also have partnered with the Illustrados. They're also a Clover Retribution guild that are based in Asia, so their Discord is also in the description down below. Now, without further ado, let's hop straight into it. First things first, join into the game and see what tier you've rolled, just like in the Hybrid Devil guide. Can't see my eyes right now, but I do have shining eyes. If you only have those, then unfortunately you are cooked. You're tier 1. If you also see a halo above your head, this one, it doesn't have to shine like this, just has to be a halo, then not gonna lie, you're still cooked because you're tier 2. Unless you're blessed, of course, but I'm gonna be talking about that in a second as well. If you have these horns that I have on my head right now as well, then you are tier 3. That is pretty good. And if you have this wing on your back, or these two wings, then you just won the lottery, because that is the best thing you can get, period. If you have blessed at tier 2, that means these particles, these golden white particles, ignore my Fab's blessing, it's probably not going to be looking the exact same as for you guys. And if you have blessed, then that is a pretty huge W. Tier 2 and above with blessed is pretty strong. Tier 1 is still solid, since it doesn't take long to get to tier 2, but it's gonna be annoying regardless. So what does hybrid paladin do, you may ask? Every tier has the same 10% damage, health, and mana soft cap increase, as opposed to the maximum 40% from hybrid devil. That, in a nutshell, that just gives you a higher damage, HP, and mana potential. Additionally, the higher the tier, the more additional stats you will get. Tier 1 gives you 10% extra stats, going up in 10% steps until you get 40% extra stats in total at tier 4. And then if you are blessed, you get 25% more stats on top of the tier stat boost, meaning the maximum is therefore up to 65% extra stats. Now, it's probably not going to be looking like this, but it's gonna be around 200 extra stats for you guys, since I have Fabio's blessing, which gives me plus 45 more stats and everything. So that's just a side info. Now, how do you progress the tier, you may ask? Well, it's easier than grinding your hybrid devil, that's for sure. But I can tell you right now, this is not gonna be a quick grind whatsoever, unless you just buy these true paladin soul fragments from the shop. They're approximately 1.5k Robux. I don't recommend doing it. Just farm. That is still a possibility. There are two ways on how you can progress this race. The first way is to drop true paladin soul fragments from killing spirits, high tier devils, that means tier 3 and up, word devils, and the bat vampire lord. That is gonna be in the vampire map. If you don't know where the vampire map is located, you can look it up in my elder vampire guide. I've also uploaded that one. That one is gonna be dropping from the corrupted vampire lord here. Every one of those has no cooldown except the bat vampire lord, that can drop it every 24 hours. There were a few theories, like whether or not it drops only once in a party, once it drops it resets the drop for everyone, etc, etc. Those were primarily from me, okay? And honestly, now that I'm done, I think they're pretty much all wrong. If you have any questions regarding the drops, you can ask them in the comments below. But no, as far as I'm concerned, everything is fine. It's just absurdly hard for whatever reason to get a drop sometimes, and it has taken me personally longer than 12 hours of continuously grinding with 2 players that had their cooldown reset long ago, and it didn't drop regardless. On another hand, I did drop it twice in one go before as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the rate is just 1.8%. You know, that would probably make the most sense for me, but unfortunately, other than that, and the fact that Twin Fortune also doesn't work on corrupted bat vampire lord, but probably everything else should be fine. You might just be unlucky. Don't forget that you need Hybrid Paladin equipped for the item to drop, as for every Hybrid Paladin related item, of course. If you do decide to go for the true Paladin soul fragments, which is the only way to get blessed, even if you spawn in as tier 4 but aren't blessed, then you still have to do that grind. Then you need a total of 21 true Paladin soul fragments to become blessed. 20 is basically the pity, but you need to go one above for it to like actually work. Every other fragment up until the pity amount has a 1% chance to make you blessed regardless. You need around 2 to 3 fragments to go from tier 1 to tier 2, around 10 to 12 fragments to go from tier 2 to tier 3, and around 18 to 20 more to go from tier 3 to tier 4. I personally took exactly 30 true Paladin soul fragments to go from tier 2 to tier 4 blessed. That is also considering the fact that I had crafted 2 graces beforehand, so it might require one more, but there's no real telling, as it's pretty like it's just weird. Once you progress this race, you'll understand yourself. Yeah, that's basically how much I took. 30 from tier 2 to tier 4 blessed. Once you did go up a tier, you have to reset once for it to appear. You will die every single time once you are blessed. If you get blessed, you will die as well. The second way to progress the tiers, if not for the true Paladin soul fragments, which I, by the way, do not recommend at all, because that's like the worst grind in the game, arguably, is by crafting graces. You can drop specific items from, for example, the Aetherstone Golem, which drops this Gleaming Aether Core. Same goes for Netherwing, Hamson, and Tier 2 Devils and up. Those items do have different buffs. The Golem Grace giving you 25% stronger shields, including your own mana veil. The Netherwing Grace reducing mana consumption by 10%. The Hamson Grain giving you 5% damage reduction, and the Devil Grace giving you 10% extra damage to dark creatures. Once you do get these items for whatever reason, maybe you're just extremely lucky, then you can equip this Hybrid Grace Weaving ability. Now keep in mind, there's 2 ways you can activate this ability, either left click and right click. I'm gonna press left click now because that is where my uncrafted graces will show up, or would show up. Then you can see the items and you can craft them into graces. You can press on multiple catalysts and combine them into one. The best grace being the one with all catalysts combined. That means one from Hamson, Netherwing, Devil, and the Golem. The more items you select to craft into a grace at once, the lower the chance of successfully crafting it. This is where it gets a little tricky, because the Trello says the amount of catalysts you can choose to craft into a grace correlate with your Hybrid Paladin tier. I, in all honesty, have no idea if the Trello is correct, since I was able to put 4 catalysts into one grace at tier 4. That was in the tester server, but still, I mean, should work the same. Anyhow, this is probably all not too relevant for you guys, since getting those grace items is even worse than getting the soul fragments. Once you crafted these graces, you can press on your Hybrid Grace Weaving ability again, and then press right click, and then you'll see the graces that you have in your system. I currently have 2 Purified Infernal Horns in myself. That means I'm blessed with 20% damage to dark creatures in total, which is pretty neat. I can also grant these graces to someone else if someone was in this lobby. Then I can just press on his name and then press grant, and the guy has to accept the grace as well. That also does mean you can kind of, you know, move around the graces depending on whether or not you have someone else, or maybe a secondary account, an alt account with Hybrid Paladin, and you can just move these graces around. Nevertheless, even though it's like probably something you're never gonna do, it's still worth mentioning that they can also act as tier progression. Tier 1 to tier 2 needs 5 graces crafted. Tier 2 to tier 3 needs 18 more graces crafted. Tier 3 to tier 4 requires 35 more graces crafted, which is 100% unachieved in this game right now. Yeah, that is also a possibility. This is also a little bit tricky. I think the progression with graces for the tiers in a different category than using true Paladin soul fragments to progress. The graces crafted might not correlate entirely to the true Paladin soul fragments. Take this with a grain of salt. It's not confirmed or anything, and Fabio's probably gonna deny it, of course, but that is just from experience. Now, I already said getting graces is heavy endgame content, and even though the buffs sound amazing, the drop rates are horrendous. I don't recommend farming that early on. It tells you completely different drop rates to what you're probably gonna end up feeling like are the drop rates. It's a lot harder. I can confidently say I've killed at least 150 Ether Stone Golems, and I still didn't drop this Ether Core. It is insanely rare. I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the problem is. There was a theory that you might need to have Hybrid Paladin equipped for X amount of time for it to drop the proper items. I'm not sure if that's actually the case. I don't think so, but it's like it's just insane. I don't recommend farming that early on at all. If you drop it, that's cool, but like I wouldn't like genuinely focus on dropping it. You know, the fragments are a lot better to grind, and the graces aren't required to make Hybrid Paladin the best race in the game, because regardless, I mean, Hybrid Paladin can use Spirit Dive. By the way, another Spirit Dive's coming out pretty soon, which I'm pretty excited for. I mean, as I said, Hybrid Devils can't use Devil Union, but Hybrid Paladins can use Spirit Dive, which will make this race the best race for any future Spirit Dive magic. And even now, it's still arguably the best race for any magic, really. It has amazing scaling for the future with the stat prestiges, since the more stat prestiges you've done, the more stats you get on top. So if you're tier 4 blessed, you get 65% more stats per stat prestige, which is insane, and will continue to get better the more stat prestiges are implemented. I mean, at the end of the day, this race is the absolute pinnacle of the game at the moment, and will most likely stay that way for Spirit Dives. I'm excited for the future, since I will get a Spirit Dive for a magic for sure. Even if not, I will still be playing it ahead of a lot of races. It also just looks sick as hell. There are gonna be variants coming out very soon as well. But yeah, that is also gonna be a case. I don't know anything about the variants. I will maybe make a comment in the description down below if I do know how to get them. But yeah, it is definitely a doable grind for the best race in the game. I recommend this grind and race heavily. Obviously, it's not the best race for every magic, but it will continue to get better. Higher stat cap magics like Legion probably benefit more from magic damage percent. Hybrid Paladin in those specific cases with higher stat cap magics is still slightly worse than Magikaro or High Elf. It does have the most bulk though, and most potential with the graces. It might still be best in slot for Legion if you're going for mana, but probably not if you have 6 eyes. It's really nuanced. If you have any more questions, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. I will try my best to answer them and help you guys with your progression. Other than that, that's it for this guide. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys liked it, I appreciate some feedback by liking the video or telling me what I could improve in the comments below. Keep in mind, I had to rush this video a little bit, but I hope I could help y'all out for now. Keep it pushing, y'all. Hope I can put out some more content soon. I'm excited for the Maharaga update. I'm probably gonna make a video on that as well. But now, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!